Okay, we back. We're going to start at, let's start at 11, verse 11.
Obadiah 1:11. In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that the strangers carried away captive his forces, and foreigners entered into his gates, and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou was as one of them.
Now this happened when you go into the history of the Babylonian Empire, when the Babylonians took us down. That's when Esau was right at the Babylonian side and helping to bring us down. So that's one reason why you're going to pay. Go ahead.
But thou shouldest not have looked on the day of thy brother in the day that he became a stranger. Neither shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction. Neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress. Thou shouldest not have entered into the gate of my people in the day of their calamity. Yea, thou shouldest not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance.
And that's what you're going to pay for.
In the day of their calamity. Neither shouldest thou have stood in the crossway to cut off those of his that did escape. Neither shouldest thou have delivered up those of his that did remain in the day of distress. For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee.
That's called payback.
Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. For as you have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yea, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness.
Mount Zion is another name for the nation of Israel. Go ahead.
And the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. And they shall kindle in them and devour them.
Read that again nice and slow.
And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. And they shall kindle in them and devour them. And there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord hath spoken it. And they of this.
That's what the Most High said. That's what Yahweh said. That he's going to make the tribes of Israel come together, and they're going to be like a fire. And you Edomites, you're going to be like stubble. When you take stubble or you take wood and you take fire and you put it together, what happens? Does the wood beat the hell out the fire? No, the fire consumes the wood until it's nothing but stubble, ash, soot.
And they of the south shall possess the mount of Esau, and they of the plain the Philistines, and they shall possess the fields of Ephraim and the fields of Samaria, and Benjamin shall possess Gilead, and the captivity of this host of the children of Israel shall possess that of the Canaanites, even unto Zarephath, and the captivity of Jerusalem which is in Sepharad shall possess the cities of the south, and Savior shall come up on Mount Zion to judge the mount of Esau, and the kingdom shall be the Lord's.
And the kingdom shall be the Lord's, because we're the servants of the Lord's. So, there's nothing more to be said. I mean, we're still going to be here teaching the scriptures, breaking down these prophecies, bringing out the judgments of the Most High, watching, praying, because all we have is hope, and all we have is faith. That's all we have. Faith in the Most High and hope that he comes back and deliver us very soon. We're not planning on, we look at every day as the next day the Most High going to come back. We know that there's two major prophecies that's got to take place. One is the mark of the beast, the chip, and the other is the U.S. declaring war on Iran, which they've been talking about that since the Bush administration. That's been in their ears. So it's going to eventually happen. And when that happens, Russia's going to get involved, and all these other nations are going to get involved, and that's when the Armageddon is going to take place. Matter of fact, let's end with that. Give me Revelation, 13 and 16, or 16 and 13. All right, go ahead.
Revelation chapter 16, verse 13. And I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. For they are the spirits of devils working miracles, which go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the whole world, to gather them to the battle of that great day of the power almighty. Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments, lest he walk naked, and they see his shame. And he gathered them together into a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon.
Armageddon is the Hebrew word Hamagadwan, which means mountain of troops. So they're going to be gathered over there in the Middle East, what's called the Valley of Decision, the Valley of Jehoshaphat, and that's where that war is going to kick off. And that's going to be a third world's war. It's going to be a war involving more than 2 nations or 2 sovereigns. And it's going to end with the total devastation of America. Go ahead.
And the 7th angel poured out his vial into the air, and there came a great voice out of the temple of heaven from the throne, saying, It is done. And there were voices and thunders and lightnings, and there was a great earthquake, such as was not since men were upon the earth. So mighty an earthquake and so great. And the great city was divided into 3 parts. And the cities of the nations fell, and great Babylon came in remembrance before the Most High.
That's America. That's America. Go ahead.
To give unto her the cup of the wine of the fierceness of his wrath. And every island fled away.
Because America's a wicked place, man. Go ahead.
And every island fled away, and the mountains were not found. And there fell upon men a great hail out of heaven, every stone about the weight of a talent.
Those are those ICBM missiles.
And men blasphemed the Most High because of the plague of the hail, for the plague thereof was exceeding great.
Now go from there to Joel. What is that? Joel 3 and 9. What does it say? That's it.
Okay. Joel chapter 3 verse 9.
And we're going to end it on this scripture.
Joel chapter.
Because we're coming to that time. Go ahead.
Joel chapter 3 verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them.
What war? The war of Armageddon. Go ahead.
Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together.
All ye nations. Go ahead.
And gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full. The fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Multitudes, multitudes in the valley of decision. For the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. The sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. The Lord also shall roar out of Zion, and utter his voice from Jerusalem. And the heavens and the earth shall shake, but the Lord will be the hope of his people, and the strength of the children of Israel.
There goes the strength of the children of Israel. Now this is a prophecy of the latter days. This is another way of speaking about the war of Armageddon, which is the end of the world, the end of Esau's world. Go ahead.
So shall you know that I am the Lord your power, dwelling in Zion, my holy mountain. Then shall Jerusalem be holy, and there shall no stranger pass through her any more. And it shall come to pass in that day that the mountain...
Because you have a bunch of strangers over there in the land of Israel right now. Go ahead.
It says, and it shall come to pass in that day that the mountains shall drop down new wine, and the hills shall flow with milk, and all the rivers of Judah shall flow with water.
Yeah, the Most High is going to rebuild the kingdom, reestablish the kingdom for the children of Israel. Go ahead.
And a fountain shall come forth of the house of the Lord, and shall water the valley of Shittim. Egypt shall be a desolation, and Edom shall be a desolate wilderness.
Edom shall be a desolate wilderness. Go ahead.
For the violence against the children of Judah.
There it goes again. For thy violence against the children of Judah, which are the so-called Negroes, the so-called black African Americans. Go ahead.
Because they have shed innocent blood in their land. But Judah shall dwell forever, and Jerusalem from generation to generation. For I will cleanse their blood that I have not cleansed, for the Lord power, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, dwelleth in Zion.
And with that, we're going to say shalom.